Saving is not good enough, because saving, you earn, you spend, and whatever is left is what you save. What you will earn in future, you are spending it today itself. That's not a very desirable thing. If you invest in a company and you have to think like an owner, then you better understand what that company does. This is far greater investor education than listening to anyone.
Hi, I am Shruti and you are watching Investors Hangout, a weekly interaction to help you learn and understand savings and investment issues, brought to you by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund and Value Research. Today I am here with some of my colleagues who, like me, have just started their professional careers and are first-time investors, lost in the maze of investing options. So to get through the maze, we have our CEO Dhirendra Kumar answering all our questions. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So our first question would be, we have heard that investing money is one way to build wealth over a long period of time. But once we start, we don't have much salary, we have our rents to pay, monthly bills, and there is so much that we want to earn. So how do we take the money out when there is so little money and we want to do so many things?
Start in a very modest way. And I don't think you should target, one is to build wealth. But more than building wealth, it is about financial security. It is important to have some money of your own than depending on somebody else for any kind of money that you need over and above, the essentials. So that's one, financial security before being wealthy. The other is that, falling in habit of saving and investment. Saving is not good enough, because saving, you earn, you spend, and whatever is left is what you save. But if you don't put it to work, it will not work, it will not begin working. So to start that process, you have to do it more in terms of not to build wealth, not to gain financial security. But in initial years, you have to do it to form a habit. It's like, getting used to brushing your teeth while you're, likewise, putting your money at work, and with 500 rupees it is possible. So getting used to it. And as far as money goes, as far as investment goes, any kind of lecture by me or anybody for any period of time will not have an impact till you actually do your own 500 rupee investment and see what happens after 12 months. First, you will find that, the net effect of all this is that 500 rupee after 12 months, you have 6,000 rupee, which you never had. Then whatever it has grown, that will be the only demonstration. And this is much bigger investor learning. This is far greater investor education than listening to anyone.
But the amount is so little. Will it help if we start investing with 500 rupees and gradually increase the amount?
As I said, that it is not about too little. You are forming a habit, because if you don't start with when you have nothing, when you can't, till you do it, till you have this demonstration of your own, that you have this money, how it has grown, how it was done, so you should not look at it in terms of how meaningful that money is. Basically, it is preparing yourself that once you have spare money, you will be in a position to do it, and you will understand the importance of doing it and value it.
So basically, I am a beginner in investing and I want to know, should I simply rely upon only mutual fund investments, or should I learn equity investments as well, as my returns expectations are quite high?
It's fine for you to have any kind of expectation, but it's also important to start your investment journey in a manner that you are able to develop confidence in the whole process. And equity could be very risky, because when you get into the equity directly at this stage, more so at this age when you are all confident about whatever you touch becomes gold, and in a rising market it does. So you run the risk of developing a false confidence. So don't start with stocks till you are able to formulate some mechanism, read Wealth Insight, understand how it works, and then surely consider it. And you should do it at some point, but not to begin with. Second is that, understand that stocks is a very risky thing, not because stocks are dangerous. Stocks are dangerous because people go there with a wrong expectation. Overnight they want to become rich. They invest in a stock without understanding what that company does. They are investing in a stock, not in a business. That's the problem. And which actually makes it completely a complete speculation. The difference between stock investment and stock in speculation is that you invest in a stock and you decide you plan not to take it out. You want it to grow. That is investment. When you invest with a mindset that the moment it grows you will take it out, that is speculation. So when you go to the stock market, most people go with that speculative mindset that it goes up and they will pull it out. They are not investing that okay, they will let it grow and they are investing for many years. This is one. So that is why one should be very clear headed about what stock investing is. So start with a mutual fund, but before that put 5,000 rupee in your pocket. That's your emergency fund. Then make sure that you have a credit card which will give you access to some 5,000-10,000 rupees anytime you want to. That's your second fallback. Then invest, do your 500 rupee SIP in one mutual fund so that you understand the process while you are learning about equity. And then if you become sure that okay, now you are confident that you are going to behave like an investor when investing in equity, then by all means invest in equity.
So since I just started investing, are there some things I need to keep in mind before I start investing in equity? And are there some pointers that I should always adhere to?
When you are investing in equity, make sure that you start thinking like an investor. You start thinking like an owner. You are not investing in a stock. You are buying a company's stock. And that is why, and you are actually a very small but an owner of the company. So it might look very insignificant, but this mindset is crucial. Then comes, if you are not investing your money, which you are unlikely to need for many years, then it is, you will be in for a disappointment. Third thing is that, we don't know anything about the market. What is the state of the market? Is it high? Is it low? Will it be disappointing? So never be in a rush to invest in the market. And that is true for equity funds, that is true for stocks as well. If you invest in a company and you have to think like an owner, then you better understand what that company does, how it will make money, why it will not die, why it will keep growing. So these are the simple questions. If you don't get an answer to about a company, don't invest.
I am about to invest in mutual funds and I have heard so much about small cap funds. So my question is, what portion of my income should I invest in small cap funds? If my risk appetite is quite enough, I can handle the risk associated with it.
Now what I suggest, you go and look for the best performing small cap fund on Value Research Online, and then look at a particular section which is the best and worst returns in the life of the fund. You will find that the best small cap fund over the last 20 years, it went down by 70%. So if you invest your 1,000 rupee and in a span of next 2, 3, 4 months, God forbid it doesn't happen, but assuming it happens, your 1,000 rupee actually is reduced to 300 rupees. Will you be okay? It is fine to be saying that I have risk appetite, and you should have, because you're still earning, you're beginning to earn. And the result of that small cap return, the investment performance of small cap is a result of withstanding that decline. It accrued to those people who invested 1,000 rupee, it got reduced to 300 rupee, and they did not take their money out. They could stick around for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years when it actually became 2,000. And if you don't understand this, because in good times you don't understand this, because you see it growing every day, you have to see that particular dimension. But somebody like you have the risk appetite. Just risk appetite is not enough. If you don't have time on your side, you will not have the risk appetite. If you need the money in 1.5 years, you will not have the risk appetite. You can't tolerate that. So you must have time on your side. And then risk appetite might help, that you're an easygoing person. You will not lose your sleep when the market goes down by 10% and your investment goes down by 15%. And it happened in a span of 1 week, just at the beginning of 2020. So invest in small cap with confidence, long-term orientation, and a good stomach.
So my question is a little different. How do we plan our first house, first car? How do we go about that?
One is that If you have money, go about it. But the second thing is that you have to be careful about borrowing money. All these things are available with easy borrowing, and that might be a very risky thing, because keep in mind that if you borrow money to spend it on something which is not productive, it is money spent, and which means that you are effectively spending future income. What you will earn in future, you are spending it today itself. That's not a very desirable thing. If you borrow money to buy an asset which will grow, which will reduce your expenditure, that's why at Value Research we have this belief that anything which enhances your productivity or is an asset which reduces your expenditure is a desirable thing. And of course, borrowing money in emergency, you don't have a choice. So these are the only situations when you should borrow, when you should invest, and look at the economics of it. Look at it in a very cold manner. If you buy a house and the house is worth 50 lakh rupees, and the simple calculation is that for every lakh of borrowing, you have 1,000 rupee worth of EMI for next 15 years. But that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing necessarily, because you will be buying an asset and that will save you the rental outflow. The money that you are spending on rent will be saved. That apart, there is a potential appreciation of the house that you will have, which at a future date might be more expensive. So both of this combined together, but at the same time, make sure that you are planning it in a prudent fashion. Make sure that not more than 1/3 of your income goes towards EMI. Otherwise, you will be held hostage by the EMI. Second, and this will require either you reduce your the house that you are buying, or wait for it so that you have enough down payment so that your borrowing level comes down. And so these are the basic basic rules. If you follow, you will be acting in a manner where you will not be held hostage by the things that you buy.
I plan to go on a vacation next year. So, the time span is very short. So, what are some outlets where I can invest my money?
It's also important to understand, have this framework in your mind. Investing for a goal, basically the goals are of two kind. Assuming this money, this is a negotiable one. If you don't really, if you're unable to go on the vacation, it will not be a calamity, or it will not be very disturbing. But assuming this money is needed for your child's education and is getting into school, that is not a negotiable thing. It can't wait. So you need to deal with these goals differently. Likewise, buying a house could be important, but it's negotiable. Child's education is not. Retirement is not a negotiable one. So keep this in mind. Which means now it depends. If it is going to be a simple addition of the savings that you will do, then you are going to go on your vacation in a guaranteed way. Assuming the budget of your vacation is going to be something like 15,000 rupee, and you can save 1,000-1,500 rupees a month, which means sum total of all this will make it possible. But assuming that you want to go to some place, a fancy place, and the budget is about 1 lakh of rupees, and you can save only 5,000 rupees, you need to grow your money faster or more handsomely, or increase the tenure. And for this kind of time frame, equity is undesirable. So you have to do it in a manner, so don't have too much of expectation. Think in terms of earning little more than what you earn in a deposit, or what you'll get in a savings bank account. And that is the kind of return which is available from something like conservative equity, conservative hybrid fund. A small part of that money is invested in equity, substantial part is invested in debt, and it can potentially deliver you superior return. And assuming it is unable to, if you are faced with a bad luck that you invested all this period and then the market has been going down, then it's a negotiable goal. Maybe you won't go after 15 months, you'll go after 18 months. So keep in mind the negotiability, and don't have reasonable expectation, not unreasonable expectation like, okay, double my money in 4 months time. Make sure that you have accumulated leaves Otherwise, on one hand you're going on a vacation, on the other hand, your income is being cut.
So my last question is, should I rely upon mutual fund investments if exit loads associated with it and the taxes on capital gains are taken into account?
Don't bother about taxes and don't bother about exit load, simply because exit load gets triggered in equity and hybrid fund if you invest for a period of less than 1 year, and most equity investments should be made with a long term time frame, 5 years and more. So that is, you should have it in clear that you should have great clarity that when investing in equity, you have to invest in a manner that equity exit load will not affect your investment. Now comes, choosing these conservative hybrid funds and things like that. They will have, they will not have that long period of exit load. They won't levy that kind of exit load. And also have a mindset that, don't bother too much about taxes. And simply because tax is levied on gains, and it is good to have gains. And if you have substantial gains, then the capital gains of 10% is the lowest possible tax. Assuming you are very wealthy, you become wealthy, and you start investing, and then you are able to accumulate 1 crore rupee. And the result of that 1 crore is that you are able to generate of that 1 crore 50 lakh rupees gains, and and that is the result of a long period of accumulation. What will be the tax implication? One is that it's good to have 1 crore. That feeling itself is nice. And then on this, 50 lakh rupee will be your gains, on which you have to pay only 5 lakh rupees of taxes. Assuming it is, and that too, only for the period, if it was done for many, many years, all the gains before 2018, you don't have to pay taxes. It will be considered only from 2018. That is, I'm talking about a technicality. It doesn't matter. You can't go back in time and start investing. But I'm saying that, taxes are not all that bad, and they are not as unreasonable as the taxes on income.
So that's a wrap on today's episode. Keep watching the space for more information. If you like the show, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take care. Bye for now.